Surprise!
Hello.
Hey everybody,
We're back.
We're back. We're kind of back. It's not like a. It's like a
Last
semi. It's like a semi non-permanent back.
Yeah.
Because I know you guys carried on and did a couple of episodes, and then
Then I started working.
Yeah. Then I went and got you a job.
Yes.
And now you're cursing me even more.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers to that, mate. But though I'm actually drinking something called peach peng sour.
Peach Peng Sour.
Ooh, yeah, it's by Yonder Brewing.
All right.
It's quite an interesting one. Very nice. Hello, Andrew.
Andy.
Hello.
It's
G'day, mate.
peach and green tea sour.
That sounds very fancy.
It does. It's very nice. As you can see, it's nearly
Sounds
gone.
like a nice tipple.
Very sweet.
So as I was saying, it is quite sweet. As I was saying, so we obviously you guys did a couple of episodes,
Yes.
and then you've not done it for what, 2 or 3 weeks?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like
about
that.
3 weeks, yeah.
We were talking
then-
about Indiana Jones, weren't we?
Yeah.
You were talking about Indiana Jones.
That wasn't a dream that happened, yeah?
Yes, it certainly did.
What, my dream? The dream.
No,
of
not
meeting
that one.
Harrison. Did I tell you about the time I met Harrison Ford in costume as Indiana Jones?
When did that happen?
Was that a dream?
No biggie. Just Harrison Ford in costume. Yeah. So what I've done is I've called tonight's episode season 6 because I know we're going to start season 6, but we're not kind of starting it yet. But
Not officially.
Episode 0 because it's just an in betweeny thing.
Some series do that.
So nice to see everybody. It's like a pilot for episode 6. So
Season.
Season 6. Yeah, definitely episode 6. I have no idea at this point how many episodes we've actually done, to be honest.
No.
I know
Not
it's
a
quite a
clue.
lot. There's over 100 videos on our YouTube, so it must be somewhere around, maybe more. Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah.
So what if we miss anything that you've kind of? I mean, I've picked out some recent Star Wars news here that we can have a talk about.
Mhm.
I know you were talking about Indiana Jones. I'm not going to do like spoilery stuff, as you know, for Indiana Jones.
No.
But as we know, they shot at Grossmont Station when I was there, and they shot some stuff up at Bamburgh Castle.
From Glasgow recently.
And the kind of outskirts. Yeah, they've been for the past week or two. We've been seeing pictures of Glasgow streets being dressed up as New York. I think.
Yeah. I presume. Yeah, I assume it's.
We
New
presume
York.
it's New York.
Yellow taxis and all that.
So they've been doing that, but today they did actually start shooting because Mangold was on set today, but Harrison wasn't. Harrison Ford was seen. It was Harrison Ford's birthday yesterday. 79 years old, years young. Happy birthday, Harrison! If you're watching, which you definitely won't be. Watching a Star Wars podcast.
Just gonna go on YouTube and have a what's this show?
Don't tell
Star
anybody.
Wars.
So yeah. So imagine,
yeah.
just comes in. Oh, we've got somebody watching here. What's going? Let's not talking about Star Wars. So
Who's
yeah,
your favorite Star Wars character? If it's not Han Solo, I'm out of here.
So Harrison, did you get emotional playing Indiana Jones recently? No, I got paid.
yeah. Did you get emotional meeting Paddy O'Hare? No, not really.
No, I'm here for the payments.
He was there crying in a hat. I don't know what was going on. So anyway, he's been, obviously we know he got injured doing his stunt scene, so we've been seen with the going out in London the other day strapped up.
Yeah.
And then he's been seen a few days later and yesterday on his birthday having a stroll without the sling. So he's out of the sling. But he's not. I think they're still shooting around him because there was some photos today of him, of the scenes being shot with Harrison Ford double on set in the suit and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and it's old Indy. It's not like they're using a double to
It's not young in no, it's
It's a de-aging or whatever.
1960s indie.
1960s indie in civvies. He's not in indie costume, he's in civvies type thing. So obviously he's not quite there yet, but I don't think it's quite as serious as some of the people were making it online. But it's the first time that Thingy's been seen on set, and she was kind of in Phoebe Waller-Bridge. She was in kind of very sort of 60s gear, obviously, like a fluffy coat and stuff.
Like
she did
something from Austin Powers, you know.
Yeah, she
You know
did a little bit. Yeah, she did a little bit. It wasn't like a uniform or something like that. She just kind of looked like swinging 60s type person, didn't she? So
yeah.
So there you go. So that's technically not Star Wars news, but we're just doing
it's Lucasfilm.
It's Lucasfilm. We're just doing a little bit.
Yes. And this show isn't strictly about any one topic anyway. It's just a surprise.
Yes.
Shoot the shit type show, isn't it?
That's it. So, and it's we're not making any conjectures about the about the film or whatever. So there you go. So let's just have a look at.
We're most certainly not going to shit on it before we've even seen it.
No,
we're not going to do that.
Not I.
I'll wait till I've seen it before I do that.
You won't hear that from me. Yeah, and then you'll shit on it from a great height.
Shit all over it.
No, I will. I'll remain complimentary. I'm an Indiana Jones shill anyway. So
yeah.
I'll just
put that up front. You should change your little name actually.
IJ in the shill K.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll do a bit of what have you guys been up to? Is there anything new that you wish to share, or any news that you've kind of picked up on the ether?
Well, there's
things you've been watching.
So I started my holidays on Monday. So the first thing I did was watch Jaws in 4K again.
Beautiful.
The more I watch Jaws, the more I love it. And the more I'm convinced it's the greatest film ever made.
Oh, it's up there, man. It's up there, definitely.
It's in my top 10.
It's definitely.
They did it live in Albert Hall. Yeah, I think it's my number one.
Yeah,
it's not my number one film. It's weird. I think it's the best film ever made. If you can say such a thing. Obviously, Star Wars is my number one, but I think Jaws is a better film.
There is not one average shot in that film. Every shot is just stunning. Perfection.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Too true.
Do you know what's weird about when I watch it is I don't feel like I'm watching. I know this is stupid to say, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. But I don't feel like I'm watching performances. I feel like I'm on that island and I'm watching like a documentary of these corporates who are just putting people's lives over profit. Sorry, the other way around, profit over people's lives.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was actually getting angry at these people, and I was like, it's not real, it's just a movie. But Spielberg just has this way of making it so convincing.
Yeah.
Well, the mayor,
so good.
The guy who played the mayor was fantastic, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah.
I forget the name of him, the actor, but I know Gottlieb, who had something to do with writing the script. He's one of his guys. He's the kind of chubby, younger guy of his sidekicks.
Oh yes.
But yeah, it's my favorite. But my favorite, I think my favorite scene is when they're, trying to convince him.
Oh, they're near the billboard.
They're in front of the billboard.
Yeah,
and he's trying to, he's trying to convince him. And like Hooper's my favorite character. I think. I love all three of them, but
Dreyfus is just
it's the best thing Dreyfus ever did. I think.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic, and he does that. That I think that I am familiar with the problem that. You're going to ignore this particular problem until it swims up and bites you on the ass.
Yeah.
But my favorite bit is like,
You'd love to prove that, wouldn't you?
But, that's it. My favorite bit. Well, take a long, hard look at this sign. Those proportions are correct. Love to prove that, wouldn't you? Get your name into the National Geographic. And he doesn't. You expect him to come back with something. He just goes.
Yeah.
He just starts laughing at him and walks off. He's like, oh man, it's like you're beyond reason. Like I'm not even going to bother anymore.
Yeah.
Just so pitch perfect, all of it, isn't it?
It is. It's all the characters are perfect. All the actors, the casting, everything. And
It's one of those few examples where the music literally, the film doesn't work without the score. It actually doesn't work anymore.
no,
It's one of the few, like Star Wars doesn't rely on the music the way that Jaws does. Like Jaws, you're meant to hear it. You're meant to know it's there.
I think Stephen said that
true.
it was the music was a character, didn't he? In the film, was it?
Well, somebody said
Lucas, or was that Stephen? I can't remember.
It was Stephen. He was talking. Somebody asked him about this. Was in the 90s. He said, "Who played the dinosaurs? Who played the shark?" And he said, John. John's the shark. John's the dinosaurs.
Did you also watch the? I mean, I know it was on. I think it was put together. I can't remember if it was put together for the video or probably the first DVD release of it. But there's it's a good 2 hours documentary of.
Oh yeah, it's on the Blu-ray, and I think they've thrown it on the 4K disc as well. But it's just 1080p, I think.
Oh yeah,
fantastic. There's that.
Yeah,
there's that bit from Dreyfus where he's saying about, everyone, because you're all on different parts of the island, everyone had CB radios, and all you ever heard was, the shark isn't working. The shark isn't working. and he said
more.
And then he said until finally one day, he said finally one day he's on, the filming or whatever, and he just heard, the shark is working. The boat is sinking. And Dreyfus is like, and I was on that boat. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Shark's working, shit.
I know Stephen says in the documentary, doesn't he, that it's possibly the worst time he's ever had making a film in terms of stress. Like that, it's a little bit like the original Star Wars. Like people just thought this thing's never going to hit theaters. It's gone over budget, and everyone thinks it's awful. Do you know the story of when John played Stephen the music for the first time?
It's the trouble when you shoot on water, isn't it? Go on. No.
So Stephen went to John's house, and John just has in his studio a piano, a lamp, pencil, paper. That's it. So he hasn't got the string orchestra there. So he plays him. Dun, 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 dun. Stephen burst out laughing.
Did he?
Yeah.
What? I thought it was a joke or something.
He thought John. He said John's got a great sense of humor. He says I was expecting this beautiful pastoral piece of music, but it was this. He said it was just so primal.
2 notes. Dun, 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 dun,
yep.
Dun. Yeah.
I
suppose actually you would have thought it was a bit of a joke, wouldn't you? He's like, you've got this like master musician.
The thing is,
he's got this great score. Yeah.
It's so ingrained in our psyche now, but you can imagine like you said, for the first time, you'd just be like, huh?
Well,
wait a minute.
It does prove that alone proves the how clever like people talk about the melodies and the themes and they whistle them as they leave in the cinema. They're painfully simple. Like what you're not understanding, anybody really, is the orchestration. And when you get it with the orchestration, then it's absolutely terrifying. My colleague Brian, who writes books on film music, is currently doing one, and he's doing an entire chapter on Jaws. And we were talking about him going through the score, and he said, "My God, it's way more than just those 2 notes. It's beyond anything he thought." In fact, Brian has never been stumped by a cue, like analyzing it before. But there's a cue in Jaws with the first death that he's just completely stumped by, and he's like, Williams just operates on another level.
Yeah, right.
And he actually has admitted defeat and given up.
Wow.
I mean, the thing is,
only John has done that to Brian.
I bet you were like, yes.
I knew it'd happen one day. Just be completely baffled by this man's craft.
We knew you were going to get Johned one of these days. You've been Johned, Brian. But there's so many bit. I mean, like you say, obviously it's different, the orchestra, but there's so many great themes in the film, and and the rest of it, like so much of the like the barrel stuff, is just sounds like so playful. It's like a child kind of.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do you know that theme?
You know, yeah.
He said that's a pirate theme. He said these three are pirates. That's how John.
Right.
That's
Okay.
how John saw them.
Yeah.
And then you've got the do 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 when it goes under the ship, and it stops being a threat at that point because
Almost
of
a
the music.
dreamy kind of score.
Yeah.
That one,
Oh, it's like awe, isn't it? It's the
Absolutely.
awe, the size of it. It's like the.
But I just love you've got this beautiful thing on top. This is classic Williams. This beautiful thing on its own. It'd be like, oh, this could be Tchaikovsky or Beethoven or something. But then underneath, you've got in what's called polyharmony, completely ignoring the harmony that's going up on top. Dun 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 dun, and it's just it's a phenomenal score. But do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know that bit, the horn line you were just doing then? That's actually the theme for the shark. It's not dun 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 dun. That's the threat. And John says what's so useful. He doesn't say it's brilliant. He says it's useful. He said what's useful about that idea is I can give you very quietly note, no, no,
yeah,
no, no.
Oh
no.
yeah.
And he said, but I can make it go very loud, very slow, very fast. And he said it's just so usable. And you do hear it a lot in the score, but you never hear it at the same tempo. You never hear it at the same dynamic. It's always moving like the shark is. And the only time John doesn't use the theme is when the kids have got this pretend version.
Because they're not a threat. Yeah.
And he said you've been conditioned by the music at that point to expect the music, so you're a little bit like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I always loved with that little scene as well. I was like, it's clearly I think it was clearly a mistake that was left in. Like they should have been able to get exactly what the kid said or whatever. But he goes, he made me do it.
Yeah. It's those touches.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at. It's so cool.
Can you think of any more bloopers from the movie?
Me and my sister used to like rewind that bit all the time and rewatch it. Just found it so funny.
There is one. There is one blooper that I can't not see every time now I watch the movie.
Okay.
It's the hospital scene. You know, so he's being pushed through the corridors on the stretcher.
Yeah.
And the guy pushing the stretcher, as he's pushing it past the camera, he looks up at the camera and he looks straight at you.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I noticed that once and I can't not notice it. You know,
you're fired
every
guy.
time.
Do you know when they're on
fourth wall?
When they put the car on the little boat that takes you to the other side of the island, and he's talking with the town, the mayor, and the other corporates around him.
Yeah.
If you look, apparently that scene has got way more going on in there visually than I realized.
Oh, definitely.
Like the car separates them politically, like left and right.
All right.
And then when Thingy disagrees, they move into the other side of the shot, and it spins round and goes to the other perspective. And I was like, Jesus, Stephen's block. That's what you call blocking, where you have things and things.
I think I think I commented on that scene actually last time we watched it, Paddy. Like how I think there's about 4 of them, isn't there, on the ferry? And there's a point where 2 of them are in the distance and 2 of them are close to the camera and all that sort of stuff. And like you say, there's a lot of dynamic going on.
Yeah,
and they're all in suits,
split focus. Yeah.
And Brody's not, is he? He's in. That's what George did cleverly with A New Hope. Luke's in complete white, Leia's in complete white, Han's a little bit beige and darker, so he's a little bit more of a darker character. And then you've got Darth Vader completely in contrast to those other characters. And he did that throughout the trilogy. And if you look at, we're going back to Star Wars, and in Empire, Luke is in beige, and then in Jedi, he's in complete dark clothing. So because it's this subliminal messaging that Luke could possibly go to the dark side, and Lucas is always very conscious of color and design. He says in Star Wars, you have to know where we are by the architecture, the color, and the feel within a second.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And that goes right back to, I think he's, him and Spielberg have sort of bounced off each other in a way. They're just great partnership as well. And then that takes us to Indy. Great collaboration.
Yeah.
Well, they call them the bearded trio, don't they? John Williams, Steven Spielberg, and
us.
Yeah, we're the bearded trio now.
That's a great page on Facebook, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It's good, isn't it?
For the three of them, the bearded trio. That's
right.
Worth a look at if you're digging around for fun Star Wars stuff.
On the old Book of Face.
On the old Book of Face, yeah, absolutely. I think they might be on Twitter as well. So, shall we take a look at a little bit of? I'd love went straight into a Jaws tangent there.
Brilliant.
My bad.
No, it was all good.
The other thing I was going to say is what I dropped in the chat that the finale of the Mandalorian season 2 making of is dropping.
Oh yes,
yes.
I remember us being very disappointed that we saw the making of the whole series and then got to the final episode. It was like, nope.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering why they held it back for so long.
Want to do a special. I think Mark Hamill's involved with that. Should we talk about that a little bit more later? If I'll find an article.
Yeah, I think I've got an article as well discussing that kind of stuff. So cool. Right, so let's do
just
this.
Hang on a minute. We got before you go into that.
Master of TDS, hello there. Can't stay, but wanted to drop in and show support for you guys.
Thank you
very much, man.
Cheers. Thanks for that.
Appreciate it.
Master of the TDS. TDS.
Can you tell us what that stands for?
Trump derangement syndrome.
Or is
the
it
Death Star?
It's not TDS, is it?
He's the master of the Death Star.
It is TDS.
I'd say Trump derangement syndrome.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Bit of politics. Yeah. All right, good. Right, okay. Let's do this.
Why does StreamYard time stretch everything?
I know. It's because it's in browser, I imagine. You haven't got the luxury of having the files hard, on your computer.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Here we go. Total Defense Shogun.
That's uncorrected.
Coincidence.
It's an unfortunate. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Matt, you went straight to Trump.
I know. It must be the syndrome.
Total Defense Shogun. It's an unfortunate coincidence. Unbelievable. Andy does it better than me. You say it, Andy.
Well, I was going to say, imagine his first day in office. I want a Death Star. They build a wall now. I want a Death Star. I want the greatest Death Star. It's going to be better than Palpatine's. Better than that bullshit the First Order did. It's going to be It's going to be the greatest. It's going to have a huge eagle on the side of it, and a picture of me.
Brilliant. Can you do Biden?
No.
Okay. Just
you know what? I keep forgetting that he's the president. To be honest.
So does he.
Yeah. It's not Trump anymore, is it?
Yeah. Oh well, I know.
Anyway,
they got creepy Biden instead now. Right. So here we go. This is actually taken from StarWars.com. So this is just a little bit about official, yeah. Ooh. This is new Marvel Comics stuff. So Sly Moore returns to face the Emperor in Marvel's Star Wars Darth Vader number 14 exclusive preview. Darth Vader is not so easy to destroy sometimes. Sometimes that's learned the hard way. Sly Moore, the mysterious Umbaran. I'm not familiar with an Umbaran, are you?
Nope.
We first encountered in Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Yeah? Umbaran.
Is it that character who's always with Palpatine with the bald head?
Oh, with the kind of deep grooves.
Yeah.
Could be actually. They're quite scary looking, but he didn't do much, did he? Looked pretty scary though. Yeah. So blah, blah, blah. And glimpsed at the end of Marvel's Star Wars Darth Vader number 13 has returned to the Empire, as seen in StarWars.com's exclusive preview of Darth Vader 14, continuing the War of the Bounty Hunters crossover. It appears as though she was behind the recent assassination attempts on Vader. Now she must face her failure. Darth Vader number 14 from Greg Pak and artist Raphael Lenko with a cover by Aaron Kuda arrives July 21st. So there you go, guys.
Okay. Are you guys comic book readers? Used to be?
No.
Want to be?
It's funny. Like, I love comic book art. I really appreciate it. Well, there you go. It looks like she's meeting the Emperor there. Are you not delighted? That's a very palpy line. I mean, it looks great. It looks beautifully drawn, and I'm a fan of that. But like, yeah, I don't read them anymore. I mean, I used to read. What was the last comic that I used to receive regularly? I think it was the Real Ghostbusters comic.
Oh, I used to collect that. Yeah.
That was an ace comic. That.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I used to get that posted through the letterbox.
Yep. Used
Excitedly
to get
running down the stairs on was it Saturday morning when it used
Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to get posted to my nana's house. So when I went to my nana's on a Saturday, it was like, oof, there it is.
Yeah. Oop, there it is. Yeah, I don't know why I did. Yeah, Real Ghostbusters. And I used to collect the Jurassic Park comics, which I've still got somewhere.
Oh, I didn't know there's just Jurassic Park comics.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
But I didn't really dig Ghostbusters either.
I've still got the first 10 episodes, 10 editions of the Jurassic Park comic. I don't know how much that.
I'm sure I've got the Real Ghostbusters ones in the loft somewhere.
Have you still?
Obviously, I might have. I'm sure I have. What's that comic book Galaxy from Star Wars: The Force Awakens number 2? Anyway, yeah, I haven't read any of the Darth Vader comics, but I know we talked about this ages ago that one of the Darth Vader comics introduced something new, didn't it?
Yeah,
well, Matt did a video on it not too long ago.
Yeah, the what's it called? The big YouTuber
Star Wars Theory.
Star Wars Theory. I watched one of his fairly recent videos where he's talking about the Darth Vader comics, and with going off what he's saying, they're not that great.
No.
He's not very impressed with them at all.
Well, that one that Matt did, it's awful. Not the video, Matt. I mean the comic. Do you know which one I mean?
I'm trying to wrap my brains.
The one where Vader goes to Exegol and sees the fleet being made before Return of the Jedi.
And that's where you see Luke's hand in a vat or something.
Like, basically, yeah, so basically Vader knew that Palpatine was going to go to Exegol one day. He knew that there was a final order. He knew there was Star Destroyers with Death Star weapons on the bottom of it, yet they made the second Death Star.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense at all.
It's
just terrible. It's terrible planning of a story, and they're just trying to patch it up, and it's not working. It's
quite pathetic. That actually, it's a really bad attempt at trying to make Rise of Skywalker work.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke when I saw the YouTube video first. I genuinely thought it was just a bad joke.
Sorry, what were they claiming?
On Exegol in Rise of Skywalker, the Emperor's got a fleet of a billion Star Destroyers with planet-destroying weapons underneath it. Vader went to Exegol before Return of the Jedi events and saw this special fleet.
It's like,
okay.
Like, why are you wasting money building this Death Star 2?
Yeah.
Also, there was a thing in the books. Vader didn't like the Death Star. He didn't like the second one either, because he believed you could increase the size of the fleet tenfold with the same amount of resources. But the Emperor was saying you lack vision, and the symbol of the Death Star is really important, but it's more important than your fleet. And then the Emperor decides to listen to Vader in Rise of Skywalker and make a 10,000 Star Destroyer fleet, isn't it? I'm like, so Darth Vader was right.
Mm-hmm. Nah.
Just
Anyway.
ridiculous.
Let's not go there.
But that's the thing. That comic that Paddy was talking about, that's a follow-on from the ones that we're talking about, right?
Well, I'm guessing so. Yeah. It's like
Right.
an ongoing series.
I mean, I was already not interested, but when I saw that Rise of Skywalker tie-in, I just thought, it's wasting
To be honest,
my
I mean,
time.
I'd love to be interested,
So,
but I just what they're selling, I'm just not buying in the storytelling itself. You know,
same.
it is a shame. It is a shame.
But there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Anyway, excuse me if that burp came across because it may have registered. Let's move on.
I believe we've established that. I'm looking forward to
sorry. I've got to stop sharing. Say that again. It was like I had to turn off the share screen, and then it just triggered all of a sudden.
You wasn't on share screen.
No, it still technically was on mine screen.
Yeah, I can see it at the bottom. Yeah,
I was trying to press the, trigger the thingy.
I just can't remember if we talked about the Boba Fett Lego ship. It's not Slave One anymore.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we have. That was new. That was fairly new news, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, we didn't go there, did we?
We just don't know if it's canon yet. It could just be a Lego box.
In case we wanted to keep up with this as well, by the way, we're now on Blood Machines Dipper from Rivington Brewery. So there you
Rivington.
go. Chin chin. Yeah, do we want to talk about that?
There's not much to talk about, really.
Can do. I mean, it's always going to be Slave One.
Apart from the fact it's
Disney do. Disney does.
Well, I mean, the first thing is, I mean, they must have been up all fucking night thinking up the new name. That's all I can say.
Right. The toy back in the 80s had both names on the packaging. So you had Slave One, Boba Fett Spaceship.
Yes.
So why can't you do that with a new packaging? Yeah, back in the day it was Spaceship, and now they changed it to Starship. Yeah.
In the original trilogy, nobody names the ship, but in Attack of the Clones, the ship is named. So it's actually in the movies that it's called Slave One. So they might change it in The Mandalorian because maybe Boba Fett's character is going to change. Like, he may change it himself. However, Tamara Morrison has said, no, we've not changed the name in the show. It's Slave One.
Oh, he said that? I must have missed that one.
He said that it's not changed because he's finished filming the Book of Boba Fett. Because people were assuming, maybe they're going to change it in the show. Apparently not.
Right. Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
I mean, end of the day, it's one Lego box.
Well, that's what I think it's probably going to be, hopefully.
I think you'll still probably see Slave One on other merchandise. I hope so. Anyway, I mean, it's... I don't know why people will get triggered over that, but anyway, it's... they're still selling other items that aren't Lego. It's called Slave One.
Fair enough.
Online, so, yeah. It's not like they're ripping them off shelves and...
Well, it's just... The internet exploded when it happened, and I was like, this has caused a reaction I wasn't expecting. Maybe because there's no other news going on. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. It's the internet, isn't it?
It is. I think people kind of... I don't know. I think people almost manifest triggering now. It's like,
in a way,
just waiting.
I can understand.
Yeah, let's search out, a piece of it. That's somebody has just found that. They've seen the box and gone, fucking, you won't believe what they've done next.
Yeah, but
then it goes up there.
It wouldn't be out of the ordinary for Lucasfilm Disney to do something like that.
No, I agree. I agree, and they obviously have. Or whether it was Lego that went, look, we don't want to put the word slave on a toy box. And to be fair, we have been there before. I mean, I'm not certain if that was the reason we never got a Kenner Slave Leia. But I seem to remember there was a kind of similar thing where they did...
Back in the 80s?
No, they did the Black series.
Oh yeah.
Slave Layer, which was weird. It had a really long neck for some reason. I can't remember. But they did the Black series Slave Layer, and there was talk at the time of like, this is probably the last Slave Layer figure to ever be made.
Oh.
Right. Okay.
Like it's, kind of, we're not, that's, we're not doing the slave thing.
But it's just weird. Why? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand why. What's so? Are they trying to ban the word?
Well,
and if so, why?
Maybe, I mean, obviously it is tied in with, with history and not just history. I mean, it's still this,
still happening today. I mean, banning
slavery
the word doesn't make slavery
exists.
Disappear.
This is the problem. It's like trying to make words disappear. It does. It's
if you ignore it, it'll go away.
Yeah, it won't. No, like ignore.
Slavery.
ban a word and the thing doesn't exist. It's important that the word still exists so that it can be applied to that thing when referring to it. And of course, you're always going to refer to it in a negative way because it's fucking awful. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Like you don't. And like I've always said, sorry, Andy, like I've always said, for me, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, it's got fuck all to do with our politics. It's a fictional world over there. It's got nothing. It's no connotation to that.
That's right.
Boba Fett's a bounty hunter, so yes, once he's taken somebody, they are a slave, so they're in his slave ship.
Yeah,
that's it, isn't it?
Also, he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the moral. Morally, he's a bad guy. Maybe that's going to change in the book of Boba Fett. I doubt it.
Yeah, I suppose there isn't.
I think he's probably going to take the role of what the Darth Maul character might have been taking, in the George Lucas sort of outline. Sort of the head of the underworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a guess. I don't know, but
no, it's a fair. It's a fair speculation.
Yeah,
I don't see why not.
That would also lend credence to. Hasn't that been said that like kind of Filoni and Favreau are going to kind of take the ball, the sort of unused what didn't happen with the sequels and kind of run with that? Am I imagining that? Is that?
No, it's been talked about.
Was that a thing?
Yeah. And in Doomcock's recent video, which I watched yesterday. Now, again, pinch of salt. Actually, massive shovel of salt, probably a whole barrel of salt. He's getting so-called information that they want to do. They want to do the EU, basically, the expanded universe. And sort of override what the sequel trilogy gave us, but sort of keeping it in a sort of, like, I think they're going to swap the legends, if you like. That one will become legends, the other will become actual canon, or both will be canon. You choose which one you want. We'll see. No, it's. Hey, one can.
I'd love to believe that.
One can live in hope.
Probably bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean,
some people are saying Filoni's already done it, and there's all these clues and things.
All right, okay.
In Star Wars Rebels, obviously, World Between Worlds is one of them, and
I mean,
wasn't there something on the crashed Death Star in? I've only seen the movie once. The mirrors, the room of mirrors.
Yeah, basically that was like an echoing of Luke in the cave in Empire Strikes Back, but a dark side version set up by Palpatine, where she ends up confronting a dark side version of herself. And that's where
it was a Sith tent.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I watched the film, I remember the shot in Return of the Jedi of the tower so thin where the Emperor is, and then there's 4 things that come out.
Oh yeah.
There's no way, there's no place for that thing to be in those original designs.
Right.
It's not wide enough.
It's a Death TARDIS.
But I'm getting into very stupid territory there, trying to think about Rise of Skywalker logically. They'll just also that like his fucking chair's still intact. Piss off. It wouldn't be. It'd be just I'm not nope, stop.
Too much stuff.
Put the brakes on now.
Too much stuff was still intact.
Let's reverse this truck. Let's not go there.
Boop.
Move along.
Yeah, move along. Okay. Let's move along then. Can't remember if that was the one I'd already played, but anyway. Here's a little bit. So speaking of Mando, this is, I didn't credit the last one. Oh no, I did credit it. This is taken from cnet.com. No, we don't want to begin the survey. Thanks very much. The Mandalorian season 3. Everything we know about Star Wars shows Disney Plus future. It'll be the Star Wars shows Disney Plus future. Disney Plus special will go behind the scenes of Mandalorian season 2 finale in August. The Mandalorian, the live-action series that introduced Baby Yoda, brought back Boba Fett, and saw the return of a certain Jedi, is getting a 3rd season and several spin-offs on Disney Plus. It's also been nominated for 24 Emmys, and a behind-the-scenes special will reveal secrets of the season 2 finale on August 25th. Let's take a look at where Mando's adventures, which take place a few years after Return of the Jedi, are likely to go next. We'll be diving into a full spoiler territory for the first 2 seasons, so be warned if you want up to date. What we know about season 3. The 2nd season ended with a post-credit scene teasing the Book of Boba Fett, which hits Disney Plus in December 2021. Oh. It was initially unclear if this was season 3, with the focus shifting to the bounty hunter or a spin-off. Jon Favreau, the show's creator, soon clarified that it was a spin-off. More on that below. Mando's adventures will continue in the 3rd season. We don't have a release date for the next season yet, but the Book of Boba Fett reportedly began in November, and Favreau noted that production on season 3 of the Mando will start after the spin-off is done. It's probably come out in 2022. That will probably give them time to write out Gina Carano. Since season 2 seemed to wrap up the Baby Yoda plotline with Luke Skywalker taking Grogu for Jedi training, you might wonder where the show can go next. Mando's mission, reuniting the little guy with his own kind, is done, so his priorities will shift. During season 2, Mando, real name Din Djarin, also ran into another group of Mandalorians led by Bo-Katan Kryze? Is that right? Kryze. John. She was on a mission to retake their homeworld, Mandalore, and get the Darksaber, a Mandalorian symbol of leadership, back from Imperial Moff Gideon. In the season finale, Mando took possession of the Darksaber and inadvertently became the leader of the Mandalorians. It seems likely that he'll join Bo-Katan's mission in season 3, I reckon. They're going to want some more Sakov love, aren't we? We also found out that Mando isn't a typical Mandalorian. Bo-Katan revealed that he's a child of the Watch. Ooh, very Game of Thrones. A cult of religious zealots that broke away from the Mandalorian society. That's why he isn't supposed to remove his helmet and reveal his face to anyone, but he's eventually become more open to showing his face during the first 2 seasons. We haven't seen other members of his clan since season 1, but he'll probably have some questions next time their paths cross. Disney also announced 3 of its upcoming Star Wars shows: The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, and Rangers of the New Republic. That'll set around the same point in time as The Mandalorian. So plot threads from those could feed into season 3 or some future season. What's the deal with Boba Fett? The closing shot of season 2's first episode revealed a mysterious man, Tamara Morrison, watching Mando from afar. He appears to be wearing Tusken Raider gear, and then he turns around, revealing the face of Boba Fett, the bounty hunter who fell into the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. That was Paul Weston, actually. The Mandalorian armor that Cobb Vanth, Timothy Olyphantastic, was wearing in the episode was Boba's, and he tracked Mando until he could reclaim it in the season 6 episode. After helping Mando rescue Grogu from the Imperial remnant in the season finale, a post-credit scene revealed Boba's next move, seizing power in Tatooine's criminal underworld. He's getting his own Disney Plus spin-off, The Book of Boba Fett, next December. Morrison played bounty hunter Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones and also portrayed the clone troopers in that movie and Revenge of the Sith. Jango was recruited by Count Dooku to serve as the genetic template for the clone army used by the Galactic Republic as part of Darth Sidious's convoluted plot to wipe out the Jedi. Part of Jango's payment was an unaltered clone that he could raise as his son Boba, but the elder Fett was killed during the Battle of Geonosis. The younger Fett was played by Daniel Logan in Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars CGI animated series, but The Mandalorian takes place decades later, and a grown-up Boba would look identical to Jango. However, Boba isn't the only person with Jango's face. Even though clone troopers were designed to age at an accelerated speed, some could still be alive. The Rebels series finally revealed that Commander Rex fought in Return of the Jedi's Battle of Endor a few years prior to the events of The Mandalorian, while Commander Wolf survived until at least the end of Rebels, which took place years before A New Hope. We saw a mysterious person approach assassins Fennel Shand's body on Tatooine in the final moments of the 5th episode of season 1, with Fett's trademark spur sound effect, and the 6th episode of season 2 revealed that it was indeed Boba. He saved her life, and she teamed up with him to repay the favor. She'll also join him in the Book of Boba Fett spin-off series. Fans of the Legends material developed in novels, comics, and games prior to 2014 will recall that Boba escaped the Sarlacc in the continuity and went on to become the leader of Mandalore in a very different and non-canon post-Return of the Jedi galaxy. Other spin-offs: Ahsoka Tano, the former Padawan of the late Anakin Skywalker and star of CGI animated series The Clone Wars, made her live-action debut in season 2. She's played by Rosario Dawson, who completed a private signing today, as was reported earlier this year, who might remember playing Claire Temple in the Netflix Marvel shows. Her spin-off series Ahsoka is coming to Disney Plus, and we'll probably see her hunting for Grand Admiral Thrawn. Ooh. The Imperial villain was last seen in the finale of animated series Rebels, which was set years before The Mandalorian, but we don't know why Ahsoka is after him. This show's release date is unclear. It's likely to be 2022, since the Book of Boba Fett is coming out in December 2021.
We do know why she's after him.
Go on.
Because if he's at large now, which sounds like he is in Mandalorian, he's got Ezra Bridger captured.
Yeah.
He's the young kid in Rebels.
And she'll be wanting to rescue Bridger because, well, they're mates. He rescued her. I
met the dude who played him as well. Hang on, we've got another comment.
Oh, Taylor Gray, was it?
Hello.
Taylor Gray, that's right. All right, Brian, lads, what's all this then? Well, we just thought we'd surprise you.
Just an impromptu.
Yeah, I needed to geek out. I was having withdrawal symptoms, man. I've been. My calluses are almost back now, so I just needed to soften my fingers up for a night.
Get the nerd on.
It was bloody agony this weekend, but we're back. So there's also Rangers of the New Republic, an original series set within the timeline of Mandalorian. We don't have many details on this yet. That's probably because it's being drastically rewritten. But fans speculated initially that it would feature Marshall Cara Dune. In February, Lucasfilm said Gina Carano, who plays Cara Dune in the first 2 seasons, will no longer be in The Mandalorian or future Star Wars projects. We'll see. To talk about that. It's currently unclear if the character will be cast. This one doesn't have a release date either. Upcoming series The Bad Batch isn't explicitly tied to The Mandalorian, since it's set decades earlier in the timeline between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, but it could reveal how the Mandalorians were kicked off Mandalore. What about Baby Yoda?
Because Fennec is in Bad Batch. The bounty hunter who's with Boba Fett in The Mandalorian season 2.
Oh, yeah.
She Bad Batch.
Okay, there you go. This little guy what about Baby Yoda? This little guy captured everyone's heart the moment he appeared in the first episode. We also learned that he was 50 years old and could use the Force, but we were well into season 2 before we learned anything else about him. In that season's 5th episode, Ahsoka Tano communicated with him using the Force and discovered that his real name is Grogu. He was raised in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant before being hidden when the Empire wiped out the Jedi in Revenge of the Sith. And in the decades since, he suppressed his powers to stay off the bad guy's radar. The Imperial Remnant apparently wanted him so it can use his blood to create 4 strong beings, but it's unclear if this is Moff Gideon's own ends, or if Gideon is knowingly working for the reborn Palpatine, or unknowingly doing the hidden Emperor's bidding. He went with Luke Skywalker to be trained in the ways of the Force in season 2 finale, but you just don't know he'll be reunited with Mando at some point. Oh, and the most detailed version of the puppet apparently cost $5 million. Holy shit balls.
Wow.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Do we want to look at the documentary? Do we want to talk about this stuff? Or have we done enough reading? Oh, hang on. There's just a little bit more, so I'll plow through this and then we can discuss.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. What happened in season 1? There's the recap. I'm not going to go through all that. Is there a bounty of merch from The Mandalorian? Yes, there is. Is there a tie-in literature? We're not interested in tie-in literature. What's the deal with the documentary? Disney Gallery, The Mandalorian is an 8-episode Disney Plus making of series that includes interviews with the Mandalorian cast, crew, new footage from the show's production, and roundtable conversations hosted by Favreau. Here's what they cover: directing, legacy, cast, technology, practical visualization, score, connections. The titles are pretty self-explanatory aside from the second one. It looks at George Lucas's continuing impact on Star Wars and features a pretty amazing monologue from director Dave Filoni, who worked directly with Lucas on the Clone Wars. He'll make you think about the Phantom Menace in a whole new way. Second season didn't take the episodic approach for its behind-the-scenes feature. It was all stuffed into 1 hour special. Another one will drop August 21st, so we'll see exactly how they pulled off the incredible young Luke Skywalker cameo. What's a Mandalorian? We know that. What's in the show? We know that. Blah 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 blah.
Done. Yeah.
Discuss.
Well, sound a bit like Diane Abbott, doesn't it? Anyway, yeah, like I was saying before, the end of the final episode there, where you see Boba Fett and Fennec taking the throne in Jabba's palace. I'm sure those are the characters who are replacing Darth Maul, and I can't remember the name of the character, but it was a Twi'lek who looks a bit like Darth Maul with the tattoos and stuff. That could be Fennec.
Could be.
Going forward, you know, they'll use that sort of character for her. But there again, maybe not, because maybe the Twi'lek was Force sensitive, or could use the Force in like a Sith. I don't know. They'll be able to do something with it. A bit of rewriting, jiggery pokery, get them characters on the screen.
Yeah. Be quite happy to get a bit more Ming Na Wen.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be at LFCC, wasn't she, this year? But I believe she is reconfirmed for LFCC winter. So.
Okay, cool.
But I don't know whether I'm going yet. Tempted by Wales.
Oh, yeah. Who's at Wales?
But I can't remember now. And Edward James Olmos, obviously, which is Blade Runner, so I need to see him again. I think Samwise Gamgee's just been confirmed.
Oh, really?
Oh,
cool.
So maybe that's one for you.
Yeah, I'll come along with you. Definitely. Sean Astin,
yes,
yeah.
I may have to resist. Well, starting a Goonies poster as well.
I'd love to meet him and just go, "You stupid fat hermit." I just have to do it.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
to
or,
say?
Potatoes.
Do you know, I always loved that because he nails the accent in the whole thing, but when he says mash 'em, it's impossible for him to not sound American. He goes, potatoes, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Yeah.
I started watching that again in 4K as well, Lord of the Rings.
It's superb.
Just finished. I'm up to the second disc of the Two Towers because the films are so big they have to be on separate discs.
You can see their hairnets in all glorious detail.
Yes, some of the CGI has had an upgrade, but it's the best the movies have ever looked. But in some respect, it's not helped the real 35mm film versus the upscaled from 2K CGI shots.
Oh.
Right.
It's still the best presentation of the films you'll see. The soundtrack's had a reworking as well. The sound, the dialogue, everything is. Well, I saw Fellowship in the cinema a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah, couldn't make it. I wanted to see that.
And I thought they were just going to show the old print. They didn't. They showed the new print, and it was vastly superior in picture and sound. It was really good. Great set. Very expensive though. 75 quid for just the Lord of the Rings, and then it's another 75 for the Hobbit, which I will get, but I'm just gonna have to maybe wait until that goes into a sale.
Yeah. Sell a few kidneys.
A lot of money.
So I mean, are you more excited about season 3 of The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett or
for me
Ahsoka
personally,
Tano or
Book of Boba Fett, I think more over season 3 of The Mandalorian, because the simple reason is, they fired off one of the favorite characters from the show, and it's going to be a bit weird going back into that show without knowing that we're going to meet Cara Dune again.
Yeah, left a sour.
Bit of a bitter taste in the mouth there with that one. I don't know if rumors are true, but they're probably not. But it would be good to see you back in there.
Maybe. I don't think she'd want to. Even if they wanted her
I think a lot would have to change, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video floating around of Tamara Morrison?
I think my headphones are playing up. I can't hear you.
It's a meme at the minute. It's Tamara Morrison video.
What was that?
Are you back with us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You remember that? Have you seen that Tamara Morrison video going around? The Polynesian Spur.
Yeah.
It's just, Paddy, have you seen it?
No, what's that?
People are CGing it into scenes from Star Wars. It's
really
hilarious.
Well, they're taking it out of Once We Were Warriors.
Yeah, so he's just gone.
He's in his hometown, isn't he? Of Rotorua.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes, the Polynesian Spurs. Try something new, New Zealand, and all this. And people have CG'd it into scenes from Star Wars. Should check them out; they're pretty good.
Yeah,
cool. I shall have a look.
The thing, what Matt was saying about Boba Fett being like that Darth Maul role, like the king of the underworld, even before Empire Strikes Back came out, the holiday special cartoon that Boba Fett was in, Darth Vader says when he's communicating through the screen to Boba Fett, now I know why they call you the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. And that's what all the promotional material for the figures said, didn't it, as well, that he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. And that's why Han's not... I don't think Han's afraid of literally Jabba the Hutt in Empire Strikes Back, but he knows who he's got working for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's why he wants to leave the Rebel base. He's like, if they know I'm here. What I was going to say before was Boba Fett's a bad guy in the original trilogy. We associate him with serving the Empire. But we see in The Mandalorian, he really doesn't have any loyalty to the Empire. If anything, he's not happy that they're back. That's the impression I got.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe there'll be a a reason to turn later on.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
the Empire
so that
turned
makes sense.
Mandalorian to glass, didn't it? They say that in Mandalorian season 2.
Yeah.
Boba
So
Fett
just there for
actually
a minute.
says, yeah. Boba Fett says the Empire turned Mandalorian to glass.
Right.
I think you see it in Clone Wars, Rebels, and Bad Batch.
Fingerprints everywhere.
Yeah, so I'm hoping there's a flashback in Mandalorian to the Empire taking Mandalore, because I suspect they resisted so much the Empire had to bring in Darth Vader to take. Like, he's the only one
to
powerful
wipe it out.
enough. Yeah, because the Mandalorians are really tough. Like, Stormtroopers are fucking useless in comparison.
Yeah.
So they'd have to. And Moff Gideon, I think, was part of it as well. That's
Right.
what the Mandalorian season 1 hinted at.
Yeah.
I think he says he was there at the Purge. They call it the Purge, where the Empire took all the Beskar and melted it down and sold it on and took everything. So I'd love to see that in Mandalorian season 3, because Mandalorian keeps doing these flashback things, which is quite new to Star Wars. There's no flashbacks, is there? In
Rogue One.
No, it was introduced in the sequels, and I remember that people were, if you remember, way back, like people were talking about theories about flashbacks way before we got them.
Yeah,
right.
There's going to be a flashback about that, like he's going to see, Han Solo or whatever it was. I can't remember. There was a lot of talk. I think the main thing that got us thinking about flashbacks, obviously, because Rogue One came afterwards, didn't it? I think the first thing that got us thinking about flashbacks was the shot of Luke putting his hand on R2-D2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in Force Awakens.
I don't know now if retrospectively I'm thinking we thought it was a flashback beforehand, or if we just thought it was part of the movie. But I seem to remember that there was a lot of fan conjecture about flashbacks for each one. They were talking about it all the time. There's going to be flashback of this and that and the other, and they never fucking. It didn't really come off in the end. Obviously, we got some, but
yeah, the thing in Force Awakens you're talking about, that was, I think JJ could say that's not a flashback. That's a Force vision like Luke had, so it's not a flashback. I think that's how they got away with it. But The Last Jedi, that is a literal flashback when we see Ben's point of view and all that stuff. But 1 to 6, there's no flashbacks. There's only Anakin's dreams and Force visions. But yeah, Mandalorian has done a lot of flashbacks. It's how in the first season, it's how we know more about Din when he was a child and where he come from.
Yeah.
So it'd be great if they did a flashback episode or a 2-parter of the invasion of Mandalore, because what's he called?
Like a filler episode.
Yeah, but it'd be really expensive because you're gonna have to put Star Destroyers and attack walkers and stuff in there. But Werner Herzog says to Thingy in season 1, why did Mandalore resist our expansion? Every system the Empire touches, it improves everything. I'm like, yeah, from your point of view.
Yeah.
So they've been talking about it a lot, so it'd be great. That's obviously I want more Luke Skywalker. That's why I'm buzzing for season 3. But
Definitely.
I think they've got to do something more with Luke. But people saying that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are going away from the sequel trilogy, there's a few things where that might not be the case.
Yeah.
I
mean, you can argue both sides of this, can't you?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, but the people who are saying, oh, they're doing their own thing, I'm like, yeah, but you're forgetting
the clones and all that.
Yeah, that in that tank, you can see it's basically Snoke or Palpatine.
Yeah.
It's got the same scar as Supreme Leader Snoke. Every time somebody mentions the Rebel Alliance now, the music in the background is the March of the Resistance from The Force Awakens.
Right, is it? Okay.
Yeah. And what's the other one? That Imperial commander who Bill Burr kills keeps talking about people want order. he keeps mentioning order.
Order, yeah.
Because that's where the Empire are going.
First up.
So, they could still turn left and do something else. I'm not saying that, but I think people are ignoring these other things.
Yeah.
We shall see.
It's one of those. It's it could go either way at this point. I mean, likelihood is they'll stick to what they've done and try and knit it together with the sequel trilogy, which should be... It'll break a lot of hearts, that, because you know what I mean.
Probably.
Well,
the thing is, I don't want them. It's not because I like the sequel trilogy or anything like that. I don't want them to do the timeline thing because it will become Marvel. And what bothers me about, I do like the Marvel stuff. I've just finished watching Loki, and I think it's pretty good.
Is it good? I've not bothered with it.
I like it.
I've not finished yet. I did finish WandaVision.
WandaVision was great. I
enjoyed it. I did enjoy it.
But the Winter Soldier thing afterwards was terrible. I didn't even watch it.
Was it? I've not watched it.
Didn't watch that either.
But Loki.
I'm going to do that next.
Loki is reminding me of Good Doctor Who. It's way more like really good Doctor Who than it is.
When was the last time we got good Doctor Who?
In my opinion.
Tennant.
I liked some of the stories in the Matt Smith stuff. It's got some of the best twists ever. So all that era, I really liked. But yeah, back to Star Wars. I don't want it to become Marvel because in Marvel, so you guys have seen Endgame, right? Don't spoil anything. Okay.
Timeline stuff.
Yeah, you remove the threat straight away. Like if you can just resurrect Darth Vader or something like that, then the sacrifice is gone from Return of the Jedi and things like that. And I think if Star Wars went down the Marvel route,
Rise of Skywalker,
you got Rise of Skywalker as well. Thankfully, it was
pretty much Marveled it.
It was Marvel. Yeah. It was Endgame.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was there trying to do an Endgame thing, which I'm starting to really not blame J.J. Abrams anymore.
J.J. had a lot against him with that movie. He didn't even want to do it, really, did he? At the end of the day, he didn't really want to do it. He didn't think he was doing it.
He didn't want to do Force Awakens, really, when you think about it. Michael Arndt was writing a story. They did concept art. And then he said, I need a year and a half to finish this. Disney said, nope, we want the film out in 2015. We need a Star Wars film. We need Episode 7. And then he dropped out. They got JJ and Larry Kasdan just to come up with the story. And because it was so last minute, they were like, why don't we just rip off A New Hope? Why don't we just play it safe? And then give it to Ryan, who did his own thing. And then got to number 9, they're like, what the fuck do I do? And it's like, well, who's responsible for this? Who hired all these people? Who said that Michael Arndt could finish that script? The people at the top. So I blame them.
Yeah. Too true.
Completely rushed.
Yes, we will.
Oh, Star Wars at 3 a.m. Yeah, sure.
Providing you subscribe to us, of course. And then we'll subscribe back.
Yes, we're trying to grow ours as well.
We certainly are.
We've been trying for about 20 years.
So, can we move on to it's just technically a piece of news, this, but I'd never come across it before until the other day. Remember Nick from Force Talk?
Of course.
He sent me a link to it saying, dude, your boy's savage. And it just made me laugh. But I'm not going to call it a news. I'm going to call it... This is hilarious. So this is taken from harddrive.net. It's from my boy Harrison Ford. When asked what Han Solo's favorite color is, Harrison Ford says, I wish George Lucas would die.
What?
It's true. I read this. I was like, oh my God.
Did he really say that?
Oh, I fucking love the Ford.
Oh.
So we I wish he'd fucking die.
I wish George Lucas would die.
So this interview's been slightly edited. Hey Harrison, it's such a pleasure to meet you. Blah 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 blah. I knew you wouldn't do a Zoom video. Of course you wouldn't. I don't do a fucking Zoom. I'm just gonna fuck you. Harrison Ford and his website. So JK, in the original script for Return of the Jedi, Yoda's return or death were not included at all. According to some accounts, Lucas only included Yoda in the final film of the original trilogy after a child psychologist suggested it to him. How do you think the series would have differed had Yoda not been a Jedi? I don't know what Yoda is.
What the fuck's a Yoda? Is that a car?
Why did they give these people who are so green the chance to interview him? Like, what? Like, just give it to me. I can understand him on his level.
Yeah.
Why are you going to ask him like mental questions about Star Wars? He's just going to go, I don't give a fuck, is what he's going to say.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that the most diverse cast of the sequel movies were a good or bad decision? Did it add to the ever-growing saga, or was it something done to appease vocal critics of the franchise? What do you think is the perfect amount of diversity in the Star Wars franchise?
I don't care.
I met one kid who was very nice. I think he said he was from Taiwan. He helped me set up the green screen in my house to film my barn. This has got to be a joke. This can't be real.
No.
What would you say are the top 10 most iconic scenes in the Star Wars franchise? The space one. This has got to be a joke. How do you think the prequel movies compare to the sequel series? Does The Last Jedi really deserve the hate it gets? What about The Rise of Skywalker? How do you feel about the backlash towards these films? I don't think I was in those. I was in something, I don't know. Every day of my life, I wish I was never introduced to George Lucas. They gave me so much money, but I would have made it anyway. I was in a lot of stuff. I don't need this shit. Okay, take this with a pinch of salt, guys. I think this is a mock Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he would not talk about George this way.
No, he wouldn't.
No. This is a spoof. It's on point.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it could be real.
It's funny. It's kind of. Let's look at it this way. Imagine if, right? You've seen. Have you seen Cock and Bull Story and The Trip with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon?
Yeah, I've been watching it.
I've seen a bit of that.
They play a fictionalized version of themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Imagine if Harrison Ford was playing a exaggerated version of himself in this interview.
Yes.
But this is what it is, for sure.
Yeah, could you imagine Ricky Gervais doing something like Life's Too Short, but with Harrison Ford?
Oh my God, I'd love to see that.
Brilliant.
Do you know, I was watching a quite an old interview with him, from when he was promoting K-19, the Widowmaker. He was on Conan.
Yeah.
And he was saying, Conan saying, would you ever love to do like something just completely daft, like a Farrelly Brothers movie or something? And he was like saying, I'd love to do that kind of thing, but I don't get offered it. Yeah. Obviously, since then he did what's it? Anchorman 2.
Yeah.
So he's kind of done that. But he said I'd like to do Coen Brothers, or I'd like to do Farrelly Brothers, or I'd like to do Coen Brothers. He was like, they always seem to be brothers, and I was thinking, fucking hell, imagine if like the Coen Brothers or Tarantino finally just gave him something.
That'd be brilliant.
Like,
it would be. Yeah.
Why does he not get? Why do those people not think of considering him? I don't know. It's crazy. Anyway.
Well, he was in the animation recently as well, where he played the dog Rooster.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
But yeah, he was playing Ford as a dog, wasn't he?
Yeah. Let the kid run. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Han Solo was a real person in real life, who would be his celebrity crush? Do you think if he ran for president of the United States, he would win? Which party would he run under? He seems to have liberal leanings. It's like that thought experiment. A man comes to your house and explains that if you press a button, you will get $1 million. But someone you don't know will die. I pressed that button. I got $1 million, but I didn't think I'd be the one who died. But I'm in hell now, aren't I? What's Han Solo's favorite color? I wish George Lucas would die. I fantasize often about his death. I used to imagine myself being the one to kill him. My hands slowly close around his throat as he yelps like one of his disgusting little creatures. These days, I'm not so selfish. I don't need to be the one to do the job. I just need him to be gone from this earth. George, if you're reading this, I know you are. I hope you die. This is definitely not Harrison Ford.
No, definitely not.
Did George ever tell you the name of Han Solo's canonical parents in the film? What kind of backstory did you invent for the character in your head when originally playing him? Maybe it's not selfish. Maybe I just need to do the world a service. He's still on. He's still on.
He's
Killing
still on the
George.
last bit. Yeah, he's still on that.
What was
frame
your
of mind.
favorite thing about working with the cast of Star Wars? What about George Lucas himself? How did the demeanor change on set between the low budget and New Hope and the high budget Empire Strikes Back? I've made up my mind. I'm going to kill George Lucas. Harrison Ford. I'm going to kill George Lucas. You've given me clarity. I'm taking my life back into my own hands. Do you approve of the use of CGI to bring back iconic characters? After you die, would you want the franchise to keep using our image to bring Han Solo into the franchise as prequel films? Or would you prefer they use a young actor to portray the role, such as Alden Ehrenreich? I'm putting on my pilot goggles. I'm taking out the plane. There's blood on both our hands here, Jeremy. But it's the good kind of blood. We're at war. We can't keep living like this. George has to pay for what he's done. What he's done to all these kids. We're all victims of this sick carny and his bag of tricks. I don't care what they offer you. Money, fame, the world. Don't be in Star Wars. We need to cut it off of his head. Humanity is preserved by those brave enough to do what's right. It already feels like relief. What was Carrie Fisher like? She was a good kid.
She was a good kid.
That's the end of it.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that was a very good spoof. That was
Yeah,
in no way connected to Harrison Ford whatsoever. I'm sure he'd see the funny side of it as well. But it's I think it's closely related to that thing where somebody did actually ask him in an interview.
About Force Ghosts.
Yeah, that's right. In The Force Awakens, where your Force goes, I don't give a Force Ghost, and I don't give a fuck what it is. Like,
yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I am drinking Montana Colors by the craft wizards that are Garage in Barcelona. So cheers.
Oh, Barcelona.
Mm.
Where do you get all these beers from? Do you get to send them?
I wish. By the way, any breweries in the world, if you want to send them to me, by all means do it.
Send them to Club Star Wars.
These are from the Old Cobblers in Greenfield. A very fine shop. Get yourself down there. Right, okay. Plenty of Indy 5 stuff on the internet from the filming in Glasgow today. L337 was
Yeah.
As you know, my favorite Star Wars character.
R2, me too.
R2, me too. Yes, I believe so, Brian. I was hoping to possibly get up there, but from what I understand, my my director / DP is going away. I think he said he's away for the weekend. So from what I understand on the rumor mill, they're shooting Indy 5 there till Saturday, and then they're wrapping. And he'll be away, so I don't think it's going to happen unless they still shooting and I can go on Monday. Plus, I'm in the middle of all kinds of shit. You may not know this, but my beloved Mercedes died a few weeks ago, and I'm driving around this proper piece of shit. But I have identified a new car, but I'm waiting for the logbook to turn up for the piece of shit and the money to turn up for the new car, so I can get the new car. Once I get the new car, Finding Ford is on, baby, because this is a 7-seater. We could take an entire crew in this thing. Like this is going to be, it's 4x4. It's 2.2 liter diesel. It's like, it's going to be the Finding Ford mobile. So stay tuned. I don't know if we'll make Glasgow, Brian. I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to, but the timing's kind of shit. And from what I understand, Ford's not there, so who cares? Did I mention that I met Harrison Ford on set of Indiana Jones 5? No, yeah, I did.
Not today.
Sorry, no, not today. Only once, twice, 3 times.
Do you know
a lady?
Do you know before Solo came out, they were talking about all these spin-off movies, and they mentioned a Boba Fett movie. That was Mangold, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
right.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
That's going back.
Indiana Jones was
years.
like, sorry, that's not going to happen. But
yeah.
They
might have even offered him the Book of Boba Fett, but that is Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, right?
Yeah. So they're going like, take Indy, Stevens out. Well, at least he got the job and he's doing it. You know?
Yeah,
definitely.
So, and from what I've seen, it all bodes well. Now then, we did there was a couple of other things on Mando and stuff, but we seem to kind of cover it also. I think that'll do, don't you, for a little surprise show?
Yeah, I think it will do.
In 25 minutes. Oh, here we go. Try and get Phoebe to sign a solo DVD for you. Oh, thanks very much, Paddy. That's really kind of you. By the way,
your presumptuous ass out of my chair.
Can I just say?
That's the only line I can remember that she says.
Can I just say I like Solo? No, I'm not going to say that. Can I just say I hate signed DVD covers? I don't know why people do that. But what's wrong? Just getting. And I'm not slugging you off for this, Brian, but people do it. I've seen them where they're trying to cram like 7 signatures onto like a tiny DVD sleeve. It's like, dude, paper exists. Photo paper exists. You can print something as large as you want. Posters exists. They're huge. You can
not at the minute
on that. Well, yeah.
E-movie down.
Yeah, I know. What's going on there? E-movie, if you're listening.
We need you back. And you need stuff to browse daily.
We do need stuff to browse daily. Right. I also forgot something important that we need to plug before we get out of here.
Just so people know what we're talking about. E-movie is a poster auction site that Paddy introduced to me about 6 or 7 years ago, and I've been an addict.
And he cursed me ever since.
Yeah. So that you can probably see one of them there, Rogue One quad, Cinema quad, and I've got about 10 quads now from Star Wars, and 16 one sheets from Star Wars, and a folded Temple of Doom from Paddy.
That's the first day we met. I gave you that.
Was it?
Around. Yeah, I was like.
Oh yeah, we've been talking online for like years, and then I came.
That was my. The first taste is free.
That was the first slice. The first slice of heroin.
The first slice of the crack. It was.
It's such a really. The thing is, I went on eMovie to see if there's any Jaws posters on there, but the thing is, Jaws is, it's quite old now. So
insane money.
Yeah.
For Jaws one sheet is absolutely bonkers money. You might get a reissue one of the reissues.
That's what I was hoping for. It's not too bad actually. You can get like Star Wars special editions in great nick for not too much money, and that's like 20 odd years ago now. So
I'm just putting this up there. Probably should have missed off the HTTP. And if I'd prepared for this in any kind of real way, I would play the
the Wii video. Yeah,
I would play the Wii video. But basically, as some of you may know, I'm involved with Donkey Stone Brewery in Saddleworth. Matt recently joined the team, so Matt's working for us, and today is the last.
Oh God. Not again.
Internet's gone.
Disney don't approve of Donkey Stone.
I think mine went a few minutes ago. I had the wheels of doom spinning in each screen.
Oh, I didn't notice.
Didn't you?
We can still hear you and stuff.
Could you?
Oh, poor Paddy. It's what did he say? He's been Bransoned last time this happened.
Yeah.
It's mad this because
internet.
He's had years of really good internet, and then all of a sudden, boom, this thing happens. What's so weird is how quick it is. Like, it's literally mid-sentence, mid-word.
Yeah, and gone. I think he's going to try and get back in. If he comes back in, yeah.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Have you got any posters, Matt? Do you like collecting Star Wars posters or anything?
I haven't actually. No.
It's quite it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it's one of those I'd have to. I mean, like, I had collections of stuff in New Zealand, but like, I had to sell things off and all that kind of stuff. I just got a message off Paddy. Effing internet gone. Please end the show.
Yeah, well, Star Wars is expensive because the merchandise has always cost more than other franchises and other kinds of toys and stuff. I remember before when I used to buy toys in Toys R Us with my birthday money, I used to get a lot more for my money when it was Action Man. And when I became a Star Wars fan, I was like, I'm only getting like 2 or 3 figures on my birthday now. When I was into Action Man, I used to get like 2 or 3 of them and a tank and something else and a helicopter, but no, not Star Wars. I mean, it was expensive even in the 90s, and it's even worse. It's crazy now. Anyway,
it is.
We can talk about merchandise another day.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good show actually. Talk about.
You got loads of toys and stuff and figures.
Look at those wonderful toys.
Yes, but you're not allowed to play with.
But the cats always jump up and knock them over, so it's
right.
Forever picking them up. But anywho, I think that's it for another week. So yes, we shall see you next time. I think should we do it again next week?
Yeah, sure.
I think it'd be rude not to.
I think I'm free.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. All right. So we'll think. Yeah, and we'll try and get some guests.
Yes.
So Paddy says good night, guys. So
bye, everyone.
Oh, hang on a minute, I've got to do the thing. You can tell us. Bye.
Bye-bye.